Hello, Marilyn.
Should I renew the New Yorker?
Yeah, absolutely.
4 years?
Don't start. 3.
4.
Not 4. Nowhere near 4. 3 years, 8 months, 22 days, and 15 hours. Hey, Marilyn. I heard something very peculiar. Is there some kind of winter phenomenon, maybe due to air density or lack of humidity, where sound is distorted, particularly at night?
No.
You know, it's like when you're in a canyon and sounds that are generated miles away seem like they're coming from very near. Isn't it possible that I could have heard a sound which seemed like it was coming from my cabin, but in fact it was coming from someplace quite distant?
No.
You see, my point is I heard this sound twice, in fact. And if I'd have to guess what it is, I'd say it was a voice. Yeah. It was a human voice. That's what it was. What?
Nothing.
Hello, Joel.
Ruth, fan? A lot of animals sound like people, right? Cats, for instance, hyenas.
Oh, I suppose so.
See, last night I heard a voice in my cabin, but clearly it must have been an animal.
A voice?
Yeah, well, I mean, that's what it most closely approximated. What?
That was no animal, Joel.
It wasn't?
No.
No?
It was Jack.
Jack? Who's Jack?
Jack's back.
Who's Jack?
Maggie didn't tell you?
Tell me what? Hey, come on, you guys. What's going on?
You see, Joel, Jack's dead.
Dead. Dead as in deceased. No longer alive.
That's right.
He killed himself in your cabin.
Blew his brains out.
Wait. He committed suicide in my cabin? Took his life? Shot himself in my cabin?
It was a long time ago, Joel.
I don't believe it. Why didn't anyone tell me? How come you didn't tell me? How could anyone not tell me?
We thought you knew.
Well, I didn't. Hey, O'Connell?
Yeah, what now, Flashman?
Oh, well, it's just a little something you neglected to mention when you rented me the cabin.
Oh, what, the oven vent thing?
No, Jack. You know, gun in the mouth, pull the trigger, Jack.
Oh, that.
Well, that's your answer?
Well, I forgot.
You forgot?
Yeah, sorry.
You forgot to mention that a man sprayed his brains across the walls of my cabin.
Yes.
You purposely withheld that information, O'Connell. You know, there are disclosure laws. You're legally obligated to inform a prospective buyer or tenant that a grisly suicide was committed on the premises.
You know, what is the big deal, Fleischman? He's not the first man in Alaska to commit suicide.
No, I'm sure hundreds of people take their lives every day to escape this loathsome place. But this is the only one who did it in my cabin. I mean, he is the only one, I assume.
Yes.
Well, what? You could have neglected to tell me something else, like there was an axe murder or a serial killing.
Fleischman?
Look, I want information, O'Connell. I want to know who he was and why he killed himself.
How should I know, Fleischman? It was over 40 years ago.
Well, did he write a note? He might have written a note.
No. Well, yes. Sort of.
What do you mean, sort of?
Well, it wasn't in a traditional sense. He crawled over to the wall and wrote alone with his blood.
He did what?
Look, Fleischman, you've been there over a year. Someone hadn't spilt the beans, you'd still be perfectly happy.
I heard something last night.
You heard something?
Yeah. Something like a voice.
Wait a minute. Joel Fleischman, a rational, overeducated New York doctor's implying an encounter with the supernatural? I mean, this pillar of empiricism has bought into the lore of a primitive Alaskan town and believes in ghosts?
No, I don't believe in ghosts.
Well?
I can't believe you would treat another human being in such a willfully duplicitous way. You should have told me. I had a right to make an informed choice.
Fleischman, there was no choice. You either slept in a ghost-infested cabin or you slept outside.
That's not the point, O'Connell.
All right, I'm sorry. It won't happen again.
Hey, Rufan.
Joel,
I'd like to see the town records.
just a minute.
Oh, go ahead. I'm going to be a while.
Oh, thank you. Well, let me see if we can find what you want. I think we can.
Great. I appreciate it.
Watch out for this third step from the bottom. The plank's loose. Let me see. I think Jack died in 48. Oh, can you reach this?
Yeah. You have mice here?
Marmots, mostly.
All right, watch out.
Set it right here.
God, there's all cobwebs around here. Wait, look at this picture. Hey, isn't that Holling's bar?
Yeah, they called it the Bearded Nail in those days.
Yeah? Why'd they call it that?
I have no idea. Oh, here it is. Larson, John R. There's Jack.
Wow. Boy, he was young. I imagine him much older. He looks... Oh, he looks so normal.
Here's the police report.
The victim is an unmarried 30-year-old white male, short blonde hair, brown eyes. He was a geologist.
Came from Indianapolis, came up here to prospect for gold.
Well, why would someone like that take his own life?
He was a solitary man, not very social. And he became despondent.
He was 30 years old, Ruth Ann. He had his whole life ahead of him.
It's easy to lose your perspective, Joel, when you're snowbound and trapped alone in the wilds of winter. Your cabin was isolated back then.
Oh, back then? It's not exactly the hub of a thriving metropolis right now.
Well, you have infrastructure, Joel, a road. Jack was paddling upriver without a canoe. I think I have some of his belongings.
Oh, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Ah, here. These were here when I took over the store, but nobody ever came for them. Funny about personal effects. After Bill died, I couldn't bear to look at his shoes.
Roget's thesaurus?
Well, I've got to get back upstairs, Joel.
He's got notes in the margins.
You can take that stuff along with you if you want to.
Is that right?
Well, technically, no. But it's been 40 years, and I don't think anybody's going to miss it.
Thank you.
Would you put this away?
Yeah.
Thank you.